Thank you for coming to the channel, because change is what we want and change is what we are definitely going to get. In this video, I want to talk about daily habits. One thing that I realize is that change is it's very hard to do. It's very difficult for the majority of the people, because we're so used to living a certain way. We're so used to living, living out a certain routine in our lives. And then when we try to change something, it becomes, a major task. It becomes very difficult to do. And that's because we're already programmed to doing, our normal routine. Wake up in the mornings, go to work, come home, probably watch TV, eat dinner, and then go to sleep later on in the night, and then do the same thing over and over again. But when we want to make change, when there's something that we want to change, it could be difficult. It could be very difficult if we just try to do it. And that's why I always say, strengthen the mind, strengthen this. Because this is where, for me, this is where everything is at. If you could change this, everything else is going to become easier. Like I said in another one of my videos, you can still get things done regardless if you change the mind or not. You can still lose weight if you start tomorrow. If you just take the action necessary to lose weight, you can still do it with a weak mindset. But if you have a strong mindset, the journey will be more easier. You see, it's going to be easier. So it might keep you more motivated, and it's gonna keep you on the road to lose the weight longer than having a weak mindset. Because with the weak mindset, you're probably gonna be on the road to losing weight for about 2 or 3 days, and then you might give up. If you have a strong mindset, you can stay on the road longer. So when it comes to habits, though, the routines that we live, there are habits in and of itself. So when we want to change our lives for the better, if we want to better our health, if we want to become better at something, and we have to start with small changes, small habits that in the long term would do us justice. And that's why if it comes to weight loss, you make small adjustments in your daily routine. You could start including water, and water might seem like it's not that important. A cup of water a day, it might seem that it's not really that important in the small scale of things. But if you think about it, after a long time, if you do that for about a month, drinking water is going to become easier for you. And then you could gradually increase the amount of water that you drink. And the same thing goes with exercising. If you want to lose weight, if you want to start exercising, if you want to start doing cardio for 40 minutes a day, you could start with just in the morning waking up earlier. And you don't even have to exercise. You could just wake up a little bit earlier. Don't exercise, but just make it a habit. You start small. And in this case, you wake up earlier. You don't have to exercise. Just wake up earlier. You could do that for a while. And when that becomes a habit, you see, we're forming new habits. When it becomes a habit, you could now wake up and probably go outside and walk for about 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to run. You don't have to do anything extensive. You don't have to really do the 40 minutes. You could just go outside and walk for 5 to 10 minutes. You see, so now you're creating another habit. And it becomes easier because waking up in the morning is already in you. You already programmed yourself to wake up earlier. So now we're upping it up. We're upping the level. Now we're stepping outside. Now we're walking for 5 to 10 minutes. And when you do that for a while, that becomes a habit. And then you could just say, okay, now I'm used to waking up in the morning. I'm used to going out, walking 5 to 10 minutes. Now let me jog. Let me jog for 20 minutes. And then after that, you run for 40 minutes. It's all about starting small but thinking big, you see. We have to create small habits that will lead to big changes. So, excuse me, don't be scared about the goals. Don't be scared. Some goals may seem difficult or that they may seem impossible to accomplish, when you break it down, when you start from the smallest level of things, atom size, it helps us to organize ourselves, and it helps us to put things in perspectives, and it helps us to really accomplish these goals. But we have to also understand that, habits, yes, they're difficult to form. It's very difficult to form. It's a struggle in and of itself, but it's possible. So start forming habits, you guys. Start forming positive habits that will lead to long-term change, and that will help us live a more prosperous life, because that's what we all want, right? I know I do.